Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 92 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Gage, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm in a new setting today.
Yeah, for anyone who's, sorry, go ahead.
How are you doing?
I'm also doing well. And for anyone who's wondering where Dan is, it's Canadian Thanksgiving right now, so he's back home up north. I almost forgot the intro. So yeah, for anyone new here, Dan and I are the, I've got my name set to Dana by accident. Let me just change that really quick. For anyone
with employees.
Yeah. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard, and we do these town halls every single week at 6 p.m. Pacific. And we do them for a few reasons. One of those is to go through the same process you guys do for your shows every single week or month or however often you do them. And then, of course, to answer your questions. We love hanging out with you guys, hearing what your experience is like, and covering whatever topics you'd like to chat about. So if you have anything you want us to cover, be sure to leave them in the comments section. And I always make sure I mention the 3 pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those 3 things, StreamYard is the tool for you. Let's see who we have hanging out tonight. Bernard saying it's his first time here. Thanks for hanging out with us, Bernard. Jaden here as usual. Dylan asking, can I submit a feature request here, or do I need to do that through the website? Both are fine. If you want to mention it here, Dylan, we'd be happy to chat about it.
Yeah,
Beauty Bubble,
do both, either way.
Beauty Bubble as usual. Before I forget, let's mention the StreamYard shows that we have going. So we have StreamYard Spotlight Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. So that's a great show where Dana and Kelsey interview you guys. They highlight all the awesome shows that people are doing on StreamYard. It's a great place to get ideas and hear how other people are finding success with live streaming. If you'd like to be featured, make sure you reach out to Dana. She'd love to chat with you. And of course, we have StreamYard Connect with Ross Brand Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. It's a great show where Ross chats about the latest and greatest things happening in the live streaming and tech world in general. He also does interviews sometimes. It's a great show, so be sure to connect with Ross there. And we also have lots of new content, mostly on our YouTube channel, which we're hoping will just be great tips and strategies for you guys to have as much success as possible with your live shows. We have great creators like Nick Nimmin, D Nimmin, Daniel Batal, Roberto Blake, and Think Media. Probably more to come. So yeah, I think D recently made a new video on his channel, so be sure to check that out. We had content from Nick recently as well, and I know stuff is coming. All of them are making content, so make sure you're subscribed to the StreamYard YouTube channel and check out their channels as well. They have great content for helping you find success, specifically on YouTube, but in general.
Yeah, definitely. Those, like all the people you just mentioned, right from Ross, even like Dana and Kelsey's show, like they're interviewing. The people they're interviewing have a lot of good information. Dana and Kelsey obviously have a lot of good information, and then everyone in this list certainly knows what they're talking about. So plenty of good stuff to learn from.
Maxie says, hey guys, thanks for the great product. Thanks, Maxie. Do you offer a white label version? So we don't have a full white label version of the product, but on the paid plans, you can upload your own logo and whatnot. So someone watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn like yourself wouldn't have any idea that you were using StreamYard. So in that sense, it's white label, but there's not like like your guest is going to join you at the StreamYard link, if that makes sense. Not sure I'll be able to pronounce that name correctly, but I'll give it an attempt. Odagsky says, been using StreamYard on my live stream show for cooking. Fantastic.
Cool.
Ariel's getting in from Buenos Aires. Very cool.
Sweet.
One thing we wanted to mention during this town hall is we're working on adding, we're now officially started on it. So hopefully we'll be able to support as many languages as possible. We're working to support things like Spanish and Portuguese. But here's probably not the best place to ask, but if there's a particular language that's important to you, maybe we can prioritize it. I'd imagine most of the people watching now, English is probably the most important one, but you never know.
Yeah, it's a good question. For those of you that can understand what Gage is saying right now in English, what other languages would you like to have? But yeah, there probably is English, maybe your second language. You'd way rather have the site in another language. For those of you watching, so yeah, let us know. Or maybe you know people, you have friends that don't speak English at all that really want it. Let us know. Carlos is new. Thanks for hanging out with us, Carlos. Tristan says nearly 100 town halls. Yeah, it's getting up there. We're excited for number 100. One of the things I kept wanting to mention it, but we never got to it in the last ones. It's actually been
just over 2 years now since the very first, not town hall broadcast, but for the very first StreamYard broadcast in general. The first broadcast that ever went live was towards the end of September in 2018. So we recently crossed the 2-year mark, which is pretty cool. Maybe surprising to some of you. I know some people think that StreamYard's been around forever, but it's only really been just over 2 years.
Cool. That's very exciting. Yeah, it was a fast 2 years, wasn't it? And a lot of you have been around, like a lot of people watching even have been here since maybe not September, but December 2018 or like February 2019, and very early on for StreamYard.
Yeah, we definitely have some old timers.
I don't know if I'd call them old timers.
Maybe there's can't think of a more positive, a better word with a more positive commentate. Longtime friends are here. Yeah,
that's good.
One thing we wanted to mention is so many of you were probably aware that there's Facebook's new update. There was some issues as far as the viewer link. It still functioned, but the scheduled link leading up to the stream, you weren't actually able to view it beforehand like you could in the past. So we actually have a workaround now. So you want to chat a bit about the nuances of of what to keep in mind for that, Dan?
Yeah, so it's not perfect, but it at least works. So when I guess just to reiterate the problem, it's like Facebook, they broke scheduling, let's call it, for lack of a better description. So you can schedule streaming events on Facebook, and then there's a post on Facebook, and then there's kind of like a video, but they're sort of separate on Facebook. And what happened was there's still a post created on Facebook, but the video doesn't work until you actually go live. So what we had for about 2 weeks, and we had an alert on our site, you may have seen it, just saying hey, your link's going to be broken until you actually go live. And Facebook is working on that, so I'm hoping they'll have a fix for it fairly soon. But in the meantime, what we're doing is just linking you to the post instead, or to a separate page that is at least a link you can share, and then your viewers will see the post. Downside is that it's not the same as what it used to be when you schedule a live stream, where you were actually on the page where you could comment. And some of you may have even noticed, if you happen to be watching this video, if you happen to be there before it actually went live, is there's no way to kind of go into the stream ahead of time while it's waiting to start. You're kind of just sitting on the main Facebook page where you can comment on it. But it's not great, because you have to refresh the page when it actually goes live. It won't automatically start for you. So for anyone that you're linking that post to, just a heads up that it won't refresh the page for them when you actually go live. They'll have to refresh the page. So again, Facebook's working on it, but that's what we have so far. It's better than what we had where the link was just broken. So at least you can actually send something to your viewers now. Not quite as good as it was before. And I do think it sounds like Facebook's not only trying to fix it, but they're trying to make it better than it was before. So hopefully that doesn't take them too long. I imagine they have a lot going on with the switch to the new Facebook. There's probably quite a few issues that have popped up for them. So probably have their hands full of stuff, but I think this should be fixed hopefully fairly soon. And yeah, in the meantime, you can at least send people the link, and they do have to refresh the page when you go live, but
better than nothing. Yeah.
Way better than it was before. Yeah.
Cool. Neil says overlay sorting / bulk upload would be key. That is in the pipeline, Neil. Hosam says, do you have a list of the updated features somewhere? So Hosam, it's definitely a common feature request, and maybe in the future we can have an official logbook or something like that. For now, generally what we do is when there's an update, we'll actually just have a pop-up on the website for larger changes. For small changes, we don't generally do that. And then every few months or so, we'll just send an email out with every change we've made, but we don't have a comprehensive list anywhere. Charmaine says, it was great when I used it for debate with candidates for an election Q&A. Very cool. That was actually one of the topics I wanted to quickly chat about tonight, specifically for people that watch the town hall, is we're just curious how you guys use the comments. So how Dan and I use it is pretty obvious. We do mostly Q&A stuff and answer your questions and address your comments. But I'm curious if there's any of you watching who use it in more unique ways. Do you generally do a stream where you have a particular subject and maybe you address the comments before and after, or do you do it throughout the show? Just curious if there's anyone using comments in a unique way. We're trying to learn.
Yeah, the two main approaches I see is kind of a Q&A type thing like we do, where it's a lot of comments, especially the second half of our stream usually is tons of comments, very Q&A heavy. And then others is more of just an ongoing discussion. There's not really hey, ask your questions. It's more of just you mention something, they say something. You're actually more of a back and forth. But yeah, I'm sure there's tons of other interesting cases. I have seen people do voting with comments on things, type this if you vote for this. So curious to hear what people use it for.
Rob says, I wish we could flag comments to come back to them later. Yeah, Rob, that's a common one that comes up is either like pinning comments or upvoting them. There was actually a post, a really nice post in the Facebook group this week. They did a lot of design work mapping out how they'd like it to work, and we always appreciate that. It's very useful to hear your guys' perspective. So we appreciate. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but I appreciate the post. At some point, yes, we would like to do something that makes it, especially for people that have, a remote producer or someone helping them with the show. I could definitely see how it could be nice to have a section where these are the approved comments that you should show, and not be having to like struggle through hundreds or thousands or more if you have a really popular show. So in the future, we'll likely add something to make that a bit easier. Justin says, we use comments for games. Like we would have a question, the first person to comment correctly wins. Very cool.
That's sweet.
Yeah, we actually did we're thinking about doing them more regularly, but we've done giveaways in the past where basically there was like a hashtag or a keyword that we would cycle through the comments and pick a winner based on that keyword. So yeah, that's a cool use case. David says, it would be great to be able to change the avatar of other users in the studio as the admin. Good to know. I know we were thinking about doing that, but I don't think we actually added it. G23 says, I do a discussion with my viewers and a Q&A. Very cool. Bong says, can we have polls too? I'd be curious, Bong, how exactly would you like the polls to work? Because I know some people would like it to be sort of Facebook has built-in polls and LinkedIn has polls, but I don't think it's attached to well, I know it's not attached to live streaming. So I'd be curious if you want polling to be part of the live streaming platform itself, or it's something where you'd want people to go to a StreamYard link. Let us know. Yeah.
Like, is StreamYard doing the live streaming? Are you using LinkedIn, Facebook, something else? Is it more chat based? Like, is it polling based on what people type in like the YouTube chat? A lot of options.
Kenny says, whenever I use my phone to go live, I get black edges around my photo versus when I use a laptop. Any fixes? So I might be underthinking this, Kenny, but it might be maybe you just have your phone in portrait and you need to have it in landscape so that you don't have the black edges. Any thoughts there, Dan?
Yeah, I think that's right. So like, as far as I know, if you're in landscape on all devices, all mobile devices, it should get rid of those black bars. If it's not doing that for you, let me know. Or if you can't use it in landscape for some reason, obviously, that could be a problem. But landscape should fix it. Yeah.
Paul says, on my game show, we used to have the audience vote, a comedy battle. Cool. But we moved to using Slido with our Google Docs. Good to know. Cool. It's useful feedback. Charmaine says, some of the comments that people write were a bit big. Is there a way to just take snips of comments? Interesting. I assume you mean that you don't want the giant comment covering the entire screen. Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, who knows? Maybe we can think about that in the future. I know my strategy with it is the really long comments I'll generally just like read instead of showing on the screen, but maybe we can think about how we could make it better.
Yeah.
Review says, when you are planning to offer 1080 to the mid-tier a month, love StreamYard. Thank you. For now, it is on the $49 plan, but I appreciate the feedback there. It is, some people don't realize that we are a cloud-based product, so StreamYard does most of the processing. So it is actually pretty expensive for us to process that amount of data and video, but you never know. Who knows what will happen in the future?
Yeah. And part of what I guess just to go even farther, what Gauges means there is like a lot of, especially like OBS, those types of products, if anyone's familiar with it, like very complex products that run on your computer will like actually mix the video on your computer. So like you need a pretty powerful computer to do it. Whereas right from when we started, we decided we needed to do it on our end in the cloud. So you could be running StreamYard on like a $200 Chromebook if you wanted to. So we do like the heavy lifting, basically all the mixing on our servers in the cloud. So that's what he means. He says like, it's pretty expensive, and it's just because of that. But it saves your computer, so it's a good trade-off.
Yeah, and it's also nice. I know a lot of people appreciate it for when they're traveling and stuff, right? Like you don't always have access to your battle station of a computer. Sometimes you're at a hotel with a cheaper laptop. David says, is there a way to bring comments in from a custom chat without a user login? No, but that is certainly an interesting request. David. So yeah, as far as I know, all the social platforms you'd have to be logged in for the comment to come through. But I'd be curious how exactly you'd want that to work. Is it sort of the type of thing where you have an RTMP feed going out that has an embedded chat? Let me know. I'd be interested to learn more about what you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm curious just what you're doing in general or what you want to do.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it sounds interesting.
Rob says, are you guys considering a desktop download or like a Chrome extension? If there's a demand for anything, we're certainly open to it. I'd be curious, Rob, what you'd like to achieve with desktop or a Chrome extension. One thing I know we've thought about is I know our recording feature was more popular than we thought it was going to be, and I know some people like to sort of how Loom works, be able to use it wherever you are. So we have considered, making a Chrome extension to do something like that, but it's not, something we're currently working on. Ordinary Streamer Guy says, StreamYard is so easy to use. Help me stream for the first time. Very cool. Congrats on your first stream. Love hearing stuff like that.
Cool. I like his channel name.
Yeah, it's catchy for sure. Lee says, any way to use a pointer on screen? I use screen sharing with graphs. I'm sure it's possible depending on the program you're using. Do you have any idea on that one, Dan?
So, yeah, when you're screen sharing, the cursor should show up. I believe, at least it does for me.
Maybe message support, Lee. If you go to StreamYard.com/contact, there's a live chat in the bottom right. Oh, that was my other. I'll make that announcement right after this. So yeah, there's a live chat if you go to StreamYard.com/contact, and they can help you with whatever you need. But yeah, I was going to announce that we now have 24/7 support. So every day of the week, at any time, you can message us at that page, and we will have someone there to help you out.
Sweet. Yeah, no, that's exciting. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Other thing I wanted to ask about is the StreamYard Facebook group. So it's pretty big now. I can't remember the exact number, but I think it's over 17,000 people now, which is pretty cool. For anyone who's not familiar with the group, check it out because it is a useful resource. If you just on Facebook, just type in StreamYard community, it should pop right up. But I want to ask how people feel about the group. I know when it's that many people, sometimes things can be a bit noisy as far as how much value you're getting out of it versus the tons of random posts and whatnot. So I was just curious to get if any of you had any thoughts about how you feel about the group, if you'd like it to be, a bit more organized, maybe where things were split out into subgroups based on interests, or maybe we had something else entirely, like a more of a private community where there's membership tiers or something like that. I'm just curious to get your guys' thoughts and let us know. Or maybe you love it. Maybe it's perfect as is. I'm just curious to get some feedback from our town hall viewers.
Cool. I just thought of one more thing. Was it Leo that's asking about the screen sharing?
Yeah, I think it was Leo.
So one more thing to add, I guess, is the cursor will show up if your cursor is actually on the app. So say you're sharing I don't know, PowerPoint or something. If you have PowerPoint open and your cursor's on that, it should show up, but it won't show up if you just have StreamYard open. So if you have one monitor, you screen share something, but then you come back to StreamYard, there's no way to show your cursor there. You have to actually have the other app open, and then it will show your cursor. So it can be confusing if you have one monitor. I don't know if that's helpful for you, but if your cursor is just genuinely not showing up in general, yeah, definitely reach out to support.
Enrico said, I'm just wondering when we'll see auto switching feature like Hangouts on Air when someone is talking, the camera goes to them, because my friends have been using Zoom to use that. Yeah, it's certainly something we're open to, Enrico. If we do add it, we'll definitely tuck it away. So it's one of our, like I said at the beginning, one of our number one goals is ease of use. So we don't want lots of crazy settings, but that's certainly something that's easy to tuck away, and it's actually something that's relatively easy for us to add. So I don't have a date or anything, but it's certainly possible that we'll add that in the future. Let's see here. Reaction Squad giving a shout out to StreamYard support. Very cool. Yeah, our support team is fantastic. Tristan, thanks for the confirmation. 17K community members, nearly 56K on the StreamYard page. Yeah, the group used to be bigger than the Facebook page. So yeah, interesting that they have crisscrossed.
Big time.
Garam says, can you use multiple cameras on StreamYard? So as of now, it's just there's workarounds, but if you're there's not an easy way to do multiple cameras. So right now, like if you're just in the studio itself, you can only add one camera at a time. You can switch between them at any point throughout the stream. But you can achieve a multiple camera effect by essentially joining as a guest on a different device and muting your mic. We'd like to make it more smooth in the future. So likely at some point that will be an option. But for right now, it is a bit, you do have to sort of jump through some hoops. Maybe the easiest way to go about it Nick Nimmin actually does this, is to use something like the ATEM Mini, which is it's like a video mixer essentially. It's a hardware device that you can plug a bunch of cameras into, and it has buttons on it, and you can physically switch between the different camera angles. Works really well. It's not cheap. I don't know the exact price, but that is another cool option if you're looking to pan between different angles. It has some other interesting stuff too, with you can have a camera slightly moving and whatnot. You can definitely get a pretty cool effect with that device.
Yeah, you can do some very crazy stuff. It looks awesome. If you know what you're doing, it's very, very cool.
Bong says the group is excellent. Learn a lot from others. Good discussions. Great to hear.
Cool.
Ryan also agrees. Gets lots of values out of it. Nice. Hey, Pepe. Pepe says StreamYard support is amazing. If Pepe has an awesome channel for anyone, but he has a huge Brazilian community, so be sure to check out Pepe. Let's see here. Rob says, oh, thanks, Rob, for addressing my download question. I like no downloads, but I'd like to use my animation software through NDI to stream as an animated character. Very cool. Probably not possible on browser-based software. It might actually be possible, Rob, especially there's this thing called WebAssembly. Getting kind of nerdy here, but the web is constantly improving. So there is some interesting stuff you can do directly in the browser, and that probably is possible. Certainly easier to do on the desktop itself, but thanks for the feedback there.
Yeah, there's definitely also possibilities for, I just know I've played around with some of those animated character things where it makes you look like something. I don't know about through NDI, but I do know with animation software, I've hooked something up where you can just put it in as a camera on browser. So I imagine there's a way to get it to work. Pretty much anything like that. You'd have to play with it a bit, but I think you can get it to work.
Pepito says keep the group simple. Cool. There definitely seems to be somewhat unanimous as far as how people feel about the group. I thought maybe more people would think it was noisy, but that's good to know. Landis agreeing as well.
Cool.
Otis says it's not allowing me to use movable videos for green screen. Is this something normal? Yes, Oda. For right now, the green screen is just static images. You can't actually upload a video. Who knows? Maybe in the future we can add that. But right now, that is certainly normal. Yeah, Kathy's a fan of the group as well. Thank you guys for the feedback.
Cool. Good to know.
Rachel says, question, do you plan to allow clickable links for selling during lives? Maybe. For right now, our suggestion is to just, share the link in the chat, and then people can click on it. Or I know that's very common for people trying to build an email list, is to share a link to their email list and subscribe. But I know there are quite a few people that are, actually selling products throughout the live stream. We'd certainly like to support them. One thing to consider is that Facebook is working on solutions for that themselves. So ideally, they'll have an API, or that's sort of the technical thing. They'll give us a way to access their tool set for selling during the lives, because that's going to be the best experience is if we actually integrate with Facebook, or if YouTube ever does something like that. But I know Facebook has tools for it directly where you can tag items you're selling throughout the stream, and it's pretty cool what they allow you to do. So my hope is that they allow us to have access to that to make it easier for you guys broadcasting. If that doesn't ever happen, maybe we will facilitate clicking links. But it's definitely not possible to make them clickable in the video itself. I know that sometimes comes up. What we don't have. What ultimately gets sent out on Facebook, nothing on Facebook is going to be clickable unless it's Facebook adding a card or something like that. Daniel says, how can we have a registration link to invite guests to join an upcoming live stream? So yeah, that's a good question. So lots of options there. So nothing directly in StreamYard, but it's fairly common for someone to basically have, something like MailChimp or ConvertKit or there's tons of those, tons of email providers out there. And basically they'll just have, a particular campaign that's for people that want to watch their live content. And then they'll email everyone out that campaign, the viewer link, right? Maybe I misunderstood the question. No, I think it is for the viewers. So yeah, you basically have that view on link go out to that email list that is subscribed to see your live streams. And that's how you can connect with them over email. Hopefully that answers the question, Daniel.
Yeah, and if you are wondering about like what we call guests, like inviting guests to a stream, like how I'm kind of a guest on this, then it would basically be you schedule it on StreamYard or just create a broadcast in advance and send that link out. But you might already know that.
Paul says like FaceRig, that could work. Yeah, I forgot about FaceRig. Yeah, I've definitely seen people using FaceRig with StreamYard. So that's another option. Basically, just bring in all that software as a virtual camera is an option.
Is that the one with like the fox?
Yeah, it's got a bunch of different.
That's like the main character is like a fox.
I think it's a fox
or something that looks like a fox.
Yeah, I don't remember. Ordinary Streamer Guy says thanks for doing these every Sunday. Very informative. Of course, it's thank you guys for watching them. It's super fun to be able to hang out with all of you every single week. Paul says the group is awesome and tech support is fast and courteous. Good to know. I'll pass the info along. A lot of them actually watch the town hall, so hopefully they're cheering. Crazy Renee channel says, what are the perks and price of the paid version? So if you want to see the full details, it's probably easiest to just go to streamyard.com/pricing Renee. But the biggest difference is the free version is pretty feature rich. Like we wanted to make sure that free users could do all the main stuff. So you can stream to any platform. You can have guests up to 5. You can show the comments, you can show the banners, you can change your theme colors. The main things you get with the paid plan is more guests, more customization with logos and overlays and things like that. But that pricing page will walk you through all the differences.
Yeah, a few other things too, like you can multi-stream on the paid plan. You can go 1080p on the higher plan. Recording, it'll record your broadcast if you want to download it. Just a few things, but like Gage said, a lot of it is quite a bit's on the free plan.
Kirk says, any plans to allow keyboard key assignments to preset shots with overlays? So we definitely plan to add hotkeys at some point, Kirk, just for a lot of reasons. One reason is a lot of people like the Stream Deck. A lot of people want to use that device, so we'd like to be able to support them and also make it easier for people that want to quickly show an overlay. Megla says, can you add touch-up appearance option like there is in Zoom? Yeah, that one comes up a lot. Certainly open to adding that. I think it totally makes sense. It's nice, if you're, just want to look a bit tired. Yeah, who knows? Maybe in the future we can add something like that. Definitely something we're open to. What else do we have here? Just about out of time here. So if you guys have any final questions, let us know. There's the one downside of having a ton of people is it's hard to get to all the questions these days. But we appreciate those of you that show up and leave them anyway. Joe says, my friend uses the ATEM Pro last night on our show. It was awesome. He did a newscast with graphics. Yeah, it's a really cool device if you're willing to make the investment. Andrew says, does StreamYard show the total number of viewers across each platform that you broadcast to? Yes, with some exceptions. So we show you the viewers for each platform that gives us that information, which is, I think, LinkedIn, everything except LinkedIn. Is that right, Dan?
So yeah, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope.
I'm sure LinkedIn will be coming soon. So
I imagine LinkedIn will eventually add it.
That's a cool idea. David says Google Forms works well for registration. Thanks for the suggestion.
Cool.
Kevin Quay says, I love you tonight, and we are very happy. Thank you very much. Tristan says, highly requested features split audios. Yes, that comes up a lot from the podcasting community. Okay, we're just about, we are out of time now. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. This was episode number 92 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. We will see you next week at the same time. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. See you, everyone.